my name. Sunshine and rain, some things don't change. Thinking about the days we were younger. Innocent in our ways, we were dumb, girl. But nothing really mattered, I could always count on you. The touch will leave me breathless, so let me give it back to you. Count on you. I could always count on you. Don't have to wait. You know my name. Sunshine and rain. Some things don't change. Thinking about the days we were younger. Innocent in our ways, we were dumb, girl. When nothing really mattered, I could always count on you. Your touch will leave me breathless, so let me give it back to you.
What is up, everyone? How is everyone doing? It is Wednesday. We are one day away from week 2 of NFL football. Week 2, as I literally just said. LeBron James Taco Tuesday has been denied to be trademark, and so has the Ohio State. Our moderator, John, has not unmuted his microphone.
No, I have not. But
Okay.
I'm here now.
That's great to hear. John, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, to be honest, I just now hopped in, but I'm assuming we're going to be talking a little bit of Chiefs, probably, because we usually do that, and probably some NFL too. So,
Well, it's up to you.
oh, it's up to me?
You're in charge tonight.
I'm in charge tonight? Okay.
You should have been here a little bit earlier. Oh, wait.
Look, that was not a personal attack. I set my phone down and, just kind of got pretty deep into the ice cream, and it was just really good, so I couldn't even really change my focus or anything.
Doubt it.
Yeah, I very much doubt it. Just get started, John.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk about the Chiefs first.
There you go.
We haven't had a podcast since the game happened, right?
Yeah.
So, big win. I want to say 40-26.
Correct.
So, definitely a big one. Lots of offense, lots of injuries, and lots of drama. Jackson, what'd you like from that game?
I liked that the offense looked even better than it did a year ago, and that picking up exactly where they left off. They first drive touchdown, 3 plays. Second drive, I mean, we scored on our first, I think, 7 possessions. There's not much to not like about how the offense looks. So that's what I liked out of the game.
Josh, we'll move over to you.
All right. I kind of agree with Jackson. Just the thing is, I don't think our offense changed. Instead of Tyreek Hill getting those receptions, it's Sammy Watkins in that game. And I feel like that's how it is going to be for the next 4 to 6 weeks with Hill being out for this injury. It's going to give him a Cole Hardman time to shine, but I definitely just see Sammy Watkins moving up to wide receiver number 1.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, yeah, with Tyreek Hill going out, definitely Watkins moving to number 1, especially after that performance. But that does move into the next thing with Tyreek Hill being out 4 to 6 weeks. Really didn't really do much, and then he just went down with an injury, and that was all we saw of him. So, kind of disappointing that we didn't get to see him week 1, and it's going to take a while for him to get back. How concerned are you guys with him being out of the offense for a sustained period of time? We'll start with Josh.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was typing in the chat.
Well, I'll start then. I think it's definitely going to hurt to have Tyreek. Even though we have a lot of depth offensively at receiver, I think it's impossible to replace a guy like that. And I think that, even if we can make up for it, we're definitely going to miss him. And, it's not like we have a cakewalk while he's out. Even though we should beat him, Oakland didn't look like a pushover on Monday night, even though they were playing Denver. Baltimore looks pretty damn. Going to Detroit could be a problem. I expect us to win these. It definitely is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. Indianapolis looked competitive. Houston's going to be, and at Denver's always a tough game. So, I think, him being out is going to hurt a little bit. But I think the Chiefs offensively just have a lot of firepower this year, and that they can deal with him being out for this little bit of time.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And you have Mecole Hardman lined up to replace him, which, it might be a good thing for him just to get, some more reps now with Hill out. Hopefully it doesn't burn us and we pick up a bad loss.
Hey, there you go, Bubba.
Oh, yeah, we'll let Josh give you a little intermittent Royals update.
Sorry, Bubba just hit his 4th home run. Everyone that doesn't hit home runs is now hitting home runs.
Yeah, that's no. Well, I thought it was. Yeah, it was
Mondesi.
Soler hit one off the wall, but the
Mondesi
pitcher was
and
Lopez. Yeah, the pitcher was Lopez, and I looked at my screen and I thought Nicky had almost hit a dinger, and I was going to go crazy, but unfortunately that wasn't it. But like I was saying, Mecole Hardman, definitely a good replacement in that spot. Good to get him some first-team reps, I think, but I don't think it's worth the expense of Hill being out. But it's not completely negative, and I guess we'll just move on to the overall drama of that game.
Wait. D Skunky wants to ask, what defensive moves need to be made?
I don't think that there is a defensive move to be made at this point.
We've already made every single move we could.
I think the bottom line is we're going to have to live with this. We have an above-average pass. We have mid to below-average linebackers. We have and then our corner position is just absolutely atrocious, and I don't think there's much you can do about it. I think at this point you just kind of have to live with that and hope that your offense is going to put up, because that secondary is ugly, and Morris Claiborne can only do so much. So I would say, really, there's nothing you can really do unless the Dolphins start selling off players. Then maybe you'll get Mika Fitzpatrick or Xavier Howard. But, there's really not much you can do right now with the defense. I mean, it kind of is what it is. They're going to probably progress. But the roster...
I don't think defense is their biggest need right now. It is an O-line.
Yeah. I don't know how much... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Also, why the hell are we running with Patrick Mahomes? Why are we making... That was the stupid... I forgot. It was the play before he hurt his ankle. We did a read option with Mahomes, and he ran it. Why is that even in the freaking play? I mean, Mahomes should never get called to run the football.
Mahomes ran in for a few touchdowns last year.
No, that should not happen. I do not want Patrick Mahomes ever. He needs to sit in the damn pocket.
That doesn't make him Patrick Mahomes.
I mean,
okay, but if you get him to run around and you get him to do all this cool stuff, eventually he's gonna freaking break his collarbone. That's the reality of it. Mobile
all right, so no left-handed pass, no 4th down and 9 passes against the Ravens. There's 2 losses. We don't get home field advantage. We probably lose in the first round of the playoffs. Yeah, let's just have Patrick Mahomes be an average quarterback, not a superstar, no MVP. I'll take
the point
that.
I'm making.
I kind of agree a little bit with both of you, but we shouldn't be limiting him to the pocket.
Yeah,
the main issue is the designed runs.
I agree with that, but I don't agree with designed runs for Patrick.
No, that is, and you're absolutely right about that.
Should never be in the playbook.
I don't think
it should never be. There should be one play here and there.
No,
honestly, emergency stations in like a playoff game is the only situation that should be allowed.
I don't want to ever see him.
You, Jackson, this might have been your mic. It just heard he should stay in the pocket.
No, I think it's fine for him to roll out of the pocket when necessary. I think that's what makes him so. But I hate he cannot run. I don't want to see him taking off and running over the middle of the field, especially designed runs. Like, boggles my mind. I get if you're trying to pick up a few yards when no one gets open and you're just scampering out of bounds. Designing a run in the middle of the field with Patrick Mahomes, that's asking for trouble. And I was yelling at my TV. You don't see, and I know he's not as athletic, but you don't see Tom Brady running. You don't see Drew Brees running. There's a reason. They don't get hurt.
Because they're not athletic.
But do they get hurt? No, neither of them ever get. Neither of them have really ever got one time for Breeze and Brady. Both of them gotten hurt one time, and after that, they have been good. And that's the thing; they're not.
I
As
agree
athletic
and
as Mahomes.
disagree.
Listen, I know what makes Mahomes great is that he can ad lib and make some of these great plays happen. But sometimes you don't need that. Sometimes you just need to keep him on, and that. I mean, the more hits he takes, the worse this is going to get. So that's.
So why not just say we get a better O-line?
Well, I mean,
But that's not.
you could say that, but it's not going to happen. I mean, there aren't a bunch of offensive linemen just sitting out on the streets right now
So
that
do
are all
something
pro.
about it.
But the other thing is the O-line that bad? I feel like people are
Yes.
going banonkers on the O-line. Like, we lost more.
It's not. Yeah,
It's not
I mean,
good. It's probably barely below average.
It is.
Is it, though? Because the Jaguars blitzed every play. How do you think Sammy Watkins got so many just like, oh, look, all the defenders are
I
on the
expect it to
complete
be
other
way
side
worse
of me?
this week. Oakland was already showing blitzes in preseason week 2, and they were blitzing a lot. They will blitz
they're
like crazy.
gonna blitz. That's part of the game. They're gonna blitz. That's why if you read, you design quick plays to get them to stop blitzing, and then once they back off, you hit them with the big play. That's kind of what we did in Jacksonville. I mean, once they started to blitz, we just checked down a couple checkdowns, and then
We even saw the mobile Mahomes make plays and get hit multiple times, and eventually we moved into him being stagnant in the pocket, and he got less pressure than he got when he was moving around more. So I feel like, yeah, that's kind of exemplary. The offensive line looked a lot better in the second half when we had already burned them multiple times than it did in the first. So I think that's kind of a product of just our adaptment to that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so moving on a little bit, Patrick Sherlock said in the chat, Andy Dalton for MVP. I'm not gonna lie, he played really well week 1. I know the Bengals.
Bengals are still going to be 0-16.
But I think that said more about Seattle than Cincinnati, that the Seahawks could only win that game by a point. I mean, the Bengals at home, and you won by a point. I mean, that
Bengals
was pretty
0-16,
embarrassing.
all I got to say.
Yeah, they're not going 0-16. That's not happening. If anybody's going 0-16, it's the Dolphins. All right, 59-10. That was the worst game.
Is it
and
the Dolphins being terrible, like god-awful, or the Ravens are really good and the Dolphins are just bad?
I mean, it's definitely a mix of both. I think the Ravens, obviously, the Ravens were a playoff team a year.
Is Marquise Brown really that good?
I mean, he's fastest, he's really fast, so it's not going to, that's going to go away.
Hey, just a little.
Don't expect Lamar Jackson to play that.
Home run
go for it.
Number 6,106 was set by the worst team in the MLB, the Baltimore Orioles. That's a new record.
Oh, the new record for a
Bubba
season.
was one off of breaking Gordo's record.
Gordo's record.
Gordo said it.
Wasn't that for a season? Not for a team, right?
It's the most in a season from the whole league.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's never been a team that hit 6,000 in a year.
The way the Twins are going, who knows?
That doesn't really. That stat is kind of stupid because the more baseball has become more offensive, it's rather home runs or strikeouts. It's not, people aren't really trying to hit for average anymore. It's kind of it's debatable. It's a little, don't really care about it.
Let's go back to NFL.
Let's get back to, we got a pick, right?
No, we do that Saturday. We can pick tomorrow night game, and I have the Panthers winning.
I'm pretty sure last week we picked every game.
Well, that was the first week. We had nothing to talk about.
All right.
Last year we picked on Saturdays.
Also, hang on. Interesting thing. Have you guys seen the Indianapolis Colts controversial unnecessary roughness call?
No.
I haven't.
Basically, you should try and find a clip because it's pretty mind-numbing. But the Chargers got an unnecessary roughness called on the Colts on a field goal, and it ended up getting them a first down, and they scored a touchdown. And it's like, you can watch the play a million times, and you have no idea where it even came from. Like, it's literally just like a simple block. But I don't know. I think that's kind of an interesting thing to talk about.
I think, you know what, honestly, I think Jacoby Brissett was really underrated this week. I thought he played insane. I thought he played really, really well. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
think
they went
obviously
into overtime with the Chargers, who also just
he
lost
threw 3
Hunter
touchdowns.
Henry for a very long time.
Very, very interesting, though. The same injury Hunter Henry had, Rodgers played all through last. So, just saying. It's going to sideline him, but, you know.
I really wish.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
John-
But, yeah. What's going on in the NFL week 1? A lot of interesting.
Yeah,
Cold
Antonio
shit.
Brown and allegations.
Interesting.
Yeah, Antonio Brown. That's definitely an interesting
Is it
case,
shocking?
and
No.
No.
I mean, nah, he's.
No,
But
I don't think he did
wanna
it. But
say-
I don't think he did
I
it.
don't want to say it's true yet. I
No,
think
I don't think he
the
did
time-
it, but it's definitely something that he would be accused of.
You
when
don't
does
think he
kind of
did
move.
it? What like
I
is
think
putting you
I
away
think
from
the
thinking
timing is a little fishy. I think
that is
like,
true?
why now? Like if
Yeah,
and
like why not whenever he was getting all pros for the Steelers and literally balling out?
I mean, I don't know. It sounds kind. I'm not picking one side here because I know the Me Too movement will come after. I think this is a little fishy.
Yes, we would talk about college football.
I will agree,
Listen.
but I think that it should be taken seriously either way, especially with a guy like
Yeah, no.
Antonio Brown.
Oh yeah.
But either way, look, allegations are allegations, and in the NFL, it really doesn't mean anything because no one ever gets got for any of this stuff.
Unless
And
you're,
whether he did it or not, nothing's going to come out of it, and that's the
well, I mean,
overall
that's what
reality.
we thought with Kareem.
Well, Kareem had video
Well,
evidence, so when we saw the video, we knew that was it. But
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill,
not
we
good.
even get a videotape of him kind of sounding abusive, and
Yeah.
he still got out with it. So I think that it's just kind of an interesting thing. But even then, does this even make him look worse than he looked like before? Because I think NFL fans are more mad about him going to the Patriots and yelling at a GM than
This is
getting these
kinda-
allegations.
This is kind of off topic. We've kind of already talked about this. If I said Antonio Brown or Mike Trout, who, like, some random person that doesn't live in America or North America, who do you think they know? Mike Trout or Antonio Brown?
Oh, Antonio. Well,
Probably-
probably Antonio
probably-
Brown.
Probably Antonio, and that's because the NFL's bigger and like the most popular sports person right now because of what
I was
he's
just
doing.
wondering what you guys would think.
And Mike Trout's not very marketable.
No,
That's bottom line. He's just he's kind of
Nobody-
boring if we're being
nobody
honest.
cares about Mike Trout.
If he
Like,
was on the
plays-
Yankees, I think he would be huge.
Yeah,
I mean, but-
definitely.
but even then, like Aaron Judge is like insane. And how many people do you see even care about him?
When he was blowing
thing
up,
that-
it was crazy.
That's the thing, though. Baseball is like so when it comes to marketing, and it's so bad with the population, and that is virtue because they don't market their players very well, and their superstars aren't like cool. Like Mike Trout hasn't had anything interesting happen to him, you know?
Well, and Mike Trout's just
Like-
kind of boring too, which is
That's what I'm
fine, but he's just boring. He
Like,
doesn't.
If,
Yeah.
if Mike Trout, if Bryce Harper had Mike Trout's skill set, I think that'd be one of the most popular athletes in the. But that isn't the case because
And
Mike
he's honestly kind of bad.
Trout, yeah, he's not very good. He's definitely
He's the
not-
lowest value in terms of value that he's
Yeah.
getting away with the most right now.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the Phillies are stupid. We had a podcast. We had a segment the day he signed that. We all agreed it was stupid. The date. But you know, good for him. He got a bag and he got out. It's good for him.
All right.
Yeah.
I just want to say
No, I
one
don't-
more thing before we go into college football for Patrick. We can just talk
All right.
about week 3. Your thoughts on, well, really two things. Monday Night Football. One, Saints-Texans reaction and Raiders-Broncos reactions. It's the first time two teams scored in the final minute on Monday Night Football. 2 lead
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah, they always find those rare. But I think the Saints game made me think Houston's better than I thought they were. It made me think New Orleans
sorry,
was worse
sorry. What'd you say,
than I
Jackson?
thought they were. Why'd you cough?
What'd you say? I couldn't hear you.
I was saying, I think that the Saints and Texans game, I think that showed me that Houston's better than I thought they were, and New Orleans is worse than I thought that they were.
It's not like I was
Even though
saying
New Orleans
that.
were. Now, Houston is still, I mean, they still lost. You said they were going to go 13-3.
They
So
can
one
lose
of their
2 more
losses
games.
is already out the window.
I called that loss. I thought they were gonna lose.
I know a lot of people did, and I think that New Orleans looked a lot worse than I expect. Just my opinion.
We'll find out this week if the Saints are the real deal.
But at the end of the day, my main takeaway is that Deshaun Watson's not going to last 10 years in this league because he gets hit. It's a tragic. They don't protect him. He also runs into a lot of sacks, and I give him credit because he played outstanding. He really played awesome. But the way he plays is not for the NFL, and he's eventually going to have to retire early. My Raiders-Broncos reaction, the Raiders are better than a lot of people wanted to give them credit for, and Joe Flacco is absolutely washed up.
They did lose Jonathan Abraham for the whole year.
Yep.
Which kind of
and
sucks.
I think I think this entire Antonio Brown thing, the Raiders honestly are more. I think you could argue it made them a better team overall chemistry and made them come together and actually try and fight for each other because everyone's been clowning them for this long, and they came in and they played hard for Gruden, and Gruden had to feel real good after everything that's been going on overall, I mean, Oakland did a good job, and again, still has no quarterback. That has
all right.
John,
John,
you got anything?
I mean, obviously that Texans-Saints game, there's not much more to be said except what the heck was that? All in all, just that finish was a complete roller coaster of, wow, why are the Texans playing prevent defense right now?
Romeo Cornell.
Yeah, that was dumb. That just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, even Booger McFarland realized it.
Yeah, all you got to do is stop one play, and if they get it far enough down the field, there's a chance that the clock would run out before they could even call a timeout. It's just, I don't know. It seems odd. You had a better chance keeping them from getting short, and then Raiders-Broncos. The Broncos are absolutely awful. The Raiders are still bad. I don't even want to hear it. I am not threatened by either of those two teams. They're both going to win 6 games at the most.
All right.
Yep. I think Keenum's better than Flacco.
I agree.
At this point.
We will pick. What are your guys' picks for tomorrow? Bucks at Panthers, I want to say.
Oh,
Panthers.
God. I think you have to take Carolina. And here's with Carolina is that, or not with Carolina, with Tampa, is that Jameis Winston's a fat bust, and the sooner they admit that, the better it's going to be for them. He's terrible. He has been since he started in the league. Never believed in that guy. He's not a franchise quarterback. He doesn't have that off. I mean, stealing crab legs. Dude, what the hell? You can't do that as a franchise quarterback in this league. So, yeah, that's my takeaway on Tampa. They're horrible, but please throw the ball to Mike Evans for my fantasy team. 5 targets? That was a joke. 5 targets? No.
Yeah, Jackson, you have no room to talk, to be honest.
Yeah, that is an interesting topic, though, because Jameis Winston, I feel like, has overstayed his welcome in the NFL in general. He's just not
on a team. It's gone from I don't think he should be a starter to I don't think he should be a backup.
He almost lost the quarterback controversy to Ryan Fitzpatrick last year. And he would have been the first person to ever lose that battle.
Josh Rosen would like to disagree, but...
yeah, well, we'll see how long Fitzpatrick lasts. It'll be...
All right. Patrick wants to talk about college football.
Yep, let's give it to him. Josh, you probably are more well-versed in the college football sector.
Type of thing, Josh.
All right, we'll just do the top 10 and who they're playing. 10. Clemson at Syracuse. This could be an upset alert.
Clemson's fine. Trevor Lawrence is going to lose that type of game.
Are you kidding me? Syracuse just lost by 43.
Last time this was at Syracuse, Syracuse did beat Clemson. That was the Kelly Bryant era, but still, Syracuse was still a ranked team last week. Maryland is just a really good team that isn't ranked. I could see this becoming an upset alert, but I still have Clemson winning.
At the end of the day, Clemson's the best damn school in the country right now, and there's nobody that can beat them when they play their best.
Okay. Bama has a shot.
Bama has the first conference matchup with South Carolina at
Dude,
South Carolina.
Bama.
Bama's gonna kill them.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, roll Tide.
Georgia will play Arkansas State, and then
Georgia.
next week is their big game versus number 7 Notre Dame.
Georgia.
I bet, and I think Georgia would beat the shit out of Notre Dame. I don't even think that game's gonna be close. From what I saw from Notre Dame at Louisville, yeah, I'm not impressed.
And then you have LSU playing. I don't even know what school that is.
Northwestern.
Northwestern State?
Yeah,
if we can't
Northwestern
pronounce
State.
them, why are we even talking about it?
Yeah.
L.
At LSU
Dub.
just steamroll them.
Oklahoma's playing
alright, who's
UCLA.
They're gonna
That's
kill them.
It'll be a good game to
Pac-12's
watch.
a joke.
Ohio
Chip Kelly's a
State
joke.
is playing Indiana.
Ohio State, but it could be interesting.
Notre Dame is playing New Mexico. University of New Mexico.
Yeah, they're gonna win.
Number 8
Walk.
Auburn.
Shit.
Can't wait to watch them crumble. Is playing Kent State.
Kent State,
What?
honestly.
Auburn.
I mean, are we really worried about
Kent
Auburn?
State.
Ooh, Florida's
Auburn.
playing Kentucky at Kentucky. If Kentucky had their quarterback, that
Florida.
could be a good game.
They do have their quarterback, I thought.
No, it's gone.
Terry Wilson's not playing?
O'Hearn with a home run.
O'Hearn's been raking.
I think Florida's going to win that game, to be
Michigan.
honest.
Michigan and Wisconsin. Oh, that's next week. Dang it.
That's next week.
Idiot.
All
Number
right.
10, Michigan doesn't play this week. All right, but this guy, Patrick wants to know about Arizona versus Texas Tech as one of the first matches. Who wants to go first?
Pac-12's a joke. Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
Khalil
really
Tate
don't
is
think
raw,
the
though.
Pac-12 is good.
All right.
Then you have
We already
Washington State versus Houston.
Iowa State versus Iowa. Patrick says Iowa State's going to win that
It's
game. What are your
Iowa.
guys'
Iowa
thoughts?
State can barely beat UNI.
Part of me thinks they had just a rough first matchup. They're
Stanford and UCF. That's what's up.
I mean,
UCF.
Iowa's pretty darn good.
UCF.
No doubt.
College game days at Iowa, even though the game's on Fox Sports. That's weird.
Really?
That's
Well, there's no good games early in the season. That's the problem. Like, there's not that many marquee matchups.
God, we live in a world where
It's
Iowa and
sick.
Iowa State is playing a freaking college game day
well, John, it's the
matchup.
first
That
time
is,
it's ever happened.
I know, but that
K-State beats Mississippi State, says Patrick.
Nope.
really, okay, Patrick. Patrick's
No.
winning over
John
my heart
likes
here.
Patrick.
Nope.
I like
not
Patrick.
KSU is not beating.
Okay, here's the thing. Mississippi
Missouri-
State has been
Missouri.
so underwhelming, and their running back got hurt last week. So,
I mean, neither
if you
school
haven't
has
noticed,
played anyone.
that is true. But
This will be interesting.
I don't know. I think it's going to be close. I really do.
Could be.
I'll give
Definitely
K
could
State
be.
the stunner. Chris Kleiman making a big impression in his first season. He's going to win
Missouri
8
plays
games.
Southern East Missouri.
I'm going to take
If we
SEMO
lose
in this
that-
one.
Are you serious?
I'm kidding. Chill.
Here's the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of people will get mad at me. If we lose this game, I will be.
If we
They have
lose
to
this
fire
game,
Barry.
I will be a Jayhawk football fan.
No, I won't go that far.
No, they have
But if
to
we
fire.
lose this
they
game,
have
we
to
can fire Barry. If we
Yeah,
lose
I mean
this game,
that
we
would be
have
the
to.
final.
Yes,
On
I
the
will agree.
spot, too.
That-
Jim Sturck has to walk out onto the sideline and fire him right there,
Yes,
That's my
it would
take.
be the worst loss in Mizzou history, probably.
without a doubt. And Mizzou, Mizzou. Good
I mean,
God.
there's been so many terrible losses.
I mean, we lost to Illinois
that-
in basketball with Jonte. That was sad.
That was.
And
It
then
doesn't get
Norfolk
worse than
State.
that, really. Oh,
Norfolk State.
I think the one that still gets me is Baggett missing that
Yeah. Dong.
that one hurt. That one was not fun.
I remember I was like watching that in my bed, and I just like put my covers over my face, and I just hear, "He missed it." And I was like, "Good God." 27 yards or whatever, something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, that was.
I
That was
hate you,
pretty bad.
Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew.
I've called you
Get that-
different things. I've swapped some letters from his name.
know this is kind of a little off topic. We should have talked about this earlier, but the Chiefs did re-sign Brian Pringle after cutting. What do you guys think?
To the practice squad. Look,
Yeah.
and I know I'm biased because I'm a K-State fan, but does Brett Veach really, or Brett Veach, Andy Reid, whoever, do they really think DeAnthony Thomas can produce remotely well? Because he's just not good. I don't see how, like, a pretty old and fresh off a suspension, probably banged up from injury, DeAnthony Thomas can be better than, like, a 23-year-old that has shown some sparks of potential in the preseason. It just seems like it's a really bad investment on the Chiefs' part. And if Pringle walks and ends up becoming a regular wide receiver anywhere, I'm going to be quite upset that we ended up letting this happen.
Something I want to talk about is USA loses to France.
Ew.
Who even cares, though? Like, who even cares? The Olympics, there's a playing in it. It's a joke. They don't care.
That's it. That was the World Cup. There will be all-stars playing in the Olympics, and I will guarantee that.
Look, here's the thing. If we're going to play our freaking NBA players and they're going to all be trash, we should just go back to putting only college players in it. Because I'd much rather watch the top college players play against that type of talent. And I would honestly turn that on. But to go see Mason Plumlee just tank his way up the court and get made like he's a little AAU player against Rudy Gobert, that's so hard to watch. I mean, it's just weird to me. And I think it'd be a cool thing just to get college players experience on a high level. I would be all for that. That would be very entertaining. I think a lot of people would watch too.
I mean, it's better than watching professionals beat up on other people from other countries. It's like, I don't
if we're not
watch
going to throw out a God squad, then we should just play NCAA people. Because then, too, you get good talent playing. Like,
and it
Mason
helps you
Plumlee
scout.
at this point just isn't a good basketball talent.
I don't know why they even let him on the team. You should have to be like...
I mean, it got to the point where Landry Shamet turned down an invite. What? Like, that's fine. I completely respect them for not playing, because Paul George, do the stanky leg. It's just, it's not good.
Yeah, do the stanky leg. Stank.
Exactly.
All right, so now more drama with Odell Beckham Jr. I mean,
oh God!
He wore a $350,000
and will continue
watch, which and he said he will continue, but it did violate NFL policy of wearing, like, I think it's like hard objects or something.
Yeah,
like
which
that.
it's just like
the NFL plans to talk to him. So, and here's the thing: Odell came out and said he feels like the league is picking on him. How in the hell would you say? Here's the thing: they're picking on. I'll tell you, Brian Urlacher back in his prime. I remember went to an NFL media and got fined $100,000 for the hat he was wearing. For a hat, and you talk about getting picked on. You're wearing
a $250,000 watch during a football game. Sorry.
Yeah, and who are you trying to impress? That's the question. Because nobody thinks you're cool, bro. Like, you just got 30 balled and your debut with the team. Yeah. Screw the watch. Like, it's immature and it's childish of them. And that's why Odell was a problem in New York.
Oh, yeah, and I agree. And it's so weird, too, because the NFL's like, they've chosen him for all these things. He's part of that, like, NFL ambassador team that, like, is with, like, British soccer players at the same time, that, like, does all that stuff. They send him to the stadium where they're going to play games. The NFL's picking on you? No. No one's ever done anything like this before. That thing is exponentially more expensive than any other piece of equipment that a player has ever worn in a game. Like, what do you think the next most expensive accessory in the NFL is right now? $1,000 maybe? And I think that's probably pushing it at a certain point. Hard? I mean, it's just dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. And I think that I think the day that Odell comes to terms with the fact that he is being childish and that he's not putting his team in the best position to win is the day that it's going to be too late. I think he'll be retired by the time he realizes. He's always had this, oh, look at me, I'm so great, look at me. Got interviewed in Cleveland when in, like, off season, he was like, the only reason the Giants had primetime games was because of me. And it's like, oh, it's not like they're in New York, the big entire country. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and it's just like the thought that the fact that he would even think to say that is just like, that's the part that just raises your eyebrow.
No, I agree. And how is that remotely comfortable too? Like,
yeah,
that just seems like it's taking your focus away from the game. And if I were the Browns, I'd say cut that out, or you can find yourself right on the bench. Because that's just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. It serves no purpose. It's just dumb.
Odell needs to grow up, and he needs to stop. He needs to stop this. Look at me.
Look at me, $250,000 watch kicking that BS that he's pulling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't honestly blame the Giants too much for trading him. I think that for a rebuilding franchise, that to have a guy like that in the locker room is not good.
That's not a presence you want to have. I agree.
First of all, here's the thing, and another thing I thought was interesting. Watching some of the Browns had to shift us to that because that's just CBS for you. Their offensive line's horrible. And I'm not making excuses. Their offensive line is horrible, and it raises an eyebrow because they traded Kevin Zeitler this offseason, the right guard, who's he's a Pro Bowler, for Olivier. Like, I just don't think that was a good trade at all. I think you already were set at pass rusher. Why would you put Baker Mayfield in that tough of a spot? Just questions that rise up.
I agree. It's weird. The Browns are a mess, per usual.
Would you say the Browns are the team that needs to win week 2 the most out of anyone?
Yeah, probably. Especially when you have a presence like Odell there.
What about
you
the
lose
Falcons?
Again, and no, they're not good. That's the thing. They're just not.
People have high expectations for the Falcons, though.
I think Atlanta has a talented roster. It's just going to be a matter of putting it together.
They're healthy now, too. I mean, last year they weren't healthy.
Yeah, I mean, let's not read too far into 1 week. Minnesota's defense is pretty darn good, and looked
I think
flat.
The Steelers also need a win.
They need a win bad, and
I think they're the biggest team that needs a win because everyone's used to seeing the Browns going 0-2.
If Cleveland starts 0-2, you know who they have the next week. If they lose this week, they get the Rams next week, and that's probably 0-3.
Yeah, you're not going to get the bounce back win against the Rams. They need to win.
A lot of pressure to win.
I think they can beat the Jets anyway.
Oh, they definitely can. But you were the same guy that said they were going to easily beat the Titans, and that was obviously false. Which I didn't think the Titans would maul them like they did, but I did say Tennessee was going to win that game. Just giving myself extra.
Well, I picked the Packers, and you didn't even.
That's true.
So,
and to be fair, that was like the worst. Well, I would say Baltimore and Miami was worse, but offensively, that was pretty tough.
Honestly, just had an error that was hard to watch.
I mean, does it even matter at this point what the Royals do? I mean, at this point, it's 2020.
I don't want to see them lose 100 games.
Season. Josh, that's inevitable. They'd have to go 10-7. They have to go 10-7 the rest of the way, and they have the Astros, Twins twice. They're not doing that.
Astros get home field advantage.
You think they're not gonna clinch home field advantage by this week?
Hopefully the Twins do.
So, yeah, it's gonna be fun to start talking about the MLB a little bit in October.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be a good momentum.
Finally, actually, time to talk about it. The MLB, if your team isn't in it, is so boring all the way through the playoffs. But I always enjoy watching the playoffs, regardless of if the so. I'm intrigued. I'm very.
And I think that the Royals being in it made the playoffs, made me gain a deeper appreciation for it because every pitch is just on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
I mean, that can be a whole different.
Like in the regular season, and I would consider myself a pretty big baseball. But during the regular get bored watching games. Like it's like
I can't watch all 162. I can have it running in the background.
Nobody can. In like nine innings of a game, it's watching every single pitch. I don't really typically do that unless it was the postseason or if it was a really important game. Or of course, I was at the game. But like that's the difference with postseason baseball. While you may not care about, a pitch thrown in the top of the third inning in a 2-2 game in July, in October, you're holding your seat every pitch, and that's what makes it so much fun. Which makes me question. I posted about this on my Royals account if they should make the postseason. Here's the thing: 162. Nice fart, whoever that was.
That was definitely John.
Oh, nice one,
John.
Bro, it's
he doesn't even.
essential.
He's just laughing so hard. But
You're welcome to everyone listening.
to the 2 people listening,
They're gonna think we're 8 years
me
old.
and
That's the funniest
Josh.
part. We might have to cut that out.
John
That-
does
like-
that in the biggest interview that we have.
Yeah.
we get to interview.
Hang on, Patrick.
Like we get to interview like Roger Goodell, and he's like,
Just farting in the background.
like that's what I think of you.
Just like, Roger, I got one sound for you. Just a freaking massive fart. You just leaves the Discord immediately.
Yo, Roger Goodell. There's a Roger I know better.
Oh my god. We're like, I'm like, wait, I'll make you burner accounts. I'll defend you on Twitter. Come back.
Yeah, get back in. Yeah,
Come on,
So
Roger.
my argument was that 162 was too much, but both of you seem to disagree with.
Yes.
I mean, look, I don't think the length is the issue with the season. I think obviously
I
none of
agree.
the fans are going to be able to watch all 162 games.
But it gives
That's a
every
ton.
single fan at least some game to watch.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I would be content starting in May instead, because part of the problem with early season is the weather sucks, and that's why the attendance. Even though it's April and it's supposed to be warm, you go to the Royals games this April, it was not warm. I mean,
No, it was rough.
cold. It was really
We get it, John.
cold.
We
I mean, we
get it.
started in why are we starting in March? That's ridiculous.
Say it louder for people in the back, Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that a shortening could do well, but 115, I don't know if we're doing anyone all that many favors.
Maybe not 115. It was just an idea to do that. Maybe like 130, 140. But like even
162
like,
is kind of a weird number, though.
But like Rizzo, I even saw he complained about it, and like I feel like it is just it is. First of all, it's got to be the most infuriating thing in the world to play 162 games and have your season end in one game. That has to be the worst thing. I've never had to.
I do not. A wild card should be best out of 3.
No.
Well, part of what
no.
makes the wild card game so fun is that it is single elimination.
And it's to the death. The wild card games are just, dude, I could watch those all day.
They're fun.
Dude.
It's
but
like a free.
It sucks. It sucks when a team wins like 98 games,
John,
doesn't win their division.
John, I would put so much money on it
That I
the
would hate the
Royals
wild
would've
card
lost
game if the Royals would've won.
2014.
I
you would've said
completely
the
agree, but
total
you know
opposite.
what? I watched
agree.
it and I was like, you know what? This just gave me a rush that I didn't even deserve going to playoffs because
But
technically,
I watch every wild card game. Like it's just so fun to, typically those teams never do anything in the postseason, but it is
except
fun
for
to
the
watch.
Giants, God,
And the Royals,
and well, I guess.
and nearly the Astros.
Yep,
We
off Correa.
in the center field.
Oh my
The
god, I
Royals
love it.
have tied it in the. I
love it.
I remember I was in school. That was a day game, and I was streaming that.
No, that happened. I was at home.
You were.
Yeah, I was
yeah,
at home by then.
Yeah, but you guys were in. You guys got out earlier than I did at that.
Yeah, that
that
is
time.
true.
You went to middle school at the time. I was in high. When that happened, it was like 3:10ish. Like I remember because my ELA
Dude,
teacher in 7th hour put
I
it
was
on. And
very tempted to turn it off too after we
You
went
know,
down.
I headed home and it was 6-2, and I was like trying to watch, and I was like, I can't. It was too painful. Like I was.
it was
just
painful.
holding back tears, just sitting there like, this is the end. Like we're done. I feel
Yeah.
like that would have been it. You can't make the fiery run back because you have less momentum than you had the year before when you lost in Game 7 of the World Series with a runner on third and 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Like there is no bigger here's a kick in the butt to get you going for the next year. Like that is all there is. If we took a step backwards after having that much,
If we would have never won the World Series, we would have always had to think about runner on third 2 outs. It would have never left our minds.
No, I still think about it.
I mean, I still think
still
about
do
it.
too. I was
But
in the building too, so that was hard.
It definitely helped win a World Series that took a lot of the pain away from me.
Yeah, if there was any
no,
way
I
that
think
you
the
could
same thing
heal
for
it,
the
it
Chiefs
was that.
happens this year.
And-
It's
and quite-
offsides.
Oh god,
Because if we
I
do
will
not
never
win
forget
if
D
we do
Ford.
not win a Super Bowl, I will blame it
Oh,
on D Ford for the rest.
If we don't, no, that'll hurt the worst. If we never win a Super Bowl, all you're going to be able to think about is back to D Ford. That's
Okay. Here's the thing: a Super Bowl wouldn't heal the D Ford wounds, though, because we have Patrick Mahomes. We got to get as many Super Bowls as we can out of him because he's a generational talent, and that doesn't happen in Kansas
John,
City.
I want to get at least one. I don't want to think about two before we get one.
I know, but what you have to think about here is that 20 years down the line, and Pat has 0 to, dare I say, 7 Super Bowl rings, we're going to think about, wow, what if D Ford would have taken a step back? How many would he have had then?
One.
Because it's such a
John, you're telling me you would rather have 0 in 20 years than 1?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, even if we win 2 Super Bowls, the D Ford wound won't be healed. It was a preventable mistake to beat
but the World Series, but the World Series loss in Game 7 will never. That's always going to hurt. It definitely gets better, but it's still, and that's the way the D Ford incident is, and it's going to be. Please God, don't let this happen. But if we go the entire Patrick Mahomes era without even making a Super Bowl, or that play will be the play that haunts us. It was. I somehow every episode we link back to D Ford somehow.
I know we always do. He's just I hate him.
Let's get him on the show.
I really look. It's a conference championship at Arrowhead against the Patriots. We've mounted a pretty solid comeback. We get a pick. Yep. We can kneel it. We could have kneeled it, and he was. Oh my God! It's not even like he was offsides and he sacked Brady. No, he wasn't
like he got part
drawn
of the play.
Offsides. He just lined up. No one knew. Tony
Romo didn't know.
Yeah, Tony thought it was on the other team.
The guy that knows everything before it happens.
Yeah, for real. Tony didn't even realize.
And I even said, God. I was like, Tony's saying it's on them. That's it. Call it.
Yeah.
Nope.
We were getting ready to celebrate, and then
I've truly screamed ridiculously loud twice in my life. Once when Gordon hit the dinger in Game 1, and once when I thought that we had just got the pick to send us to the Super Bowl.
God, I will never forget those 20 seconds.
I was at 150 decibels on both of those occasions.
That feeling for the 5 seconds that was the most unbelievable.
Oh my God! You can it was
man.
You are happy, but then when you're going to the Super Bowl feeling, that's something else, man.
If that was
tell you a feeling you can never feel it's gonna feel so damn good when the Chiefs win. That feeling is not replaceable.
Honestly, you could give that feeling to heroin addicts. Even care to do heroin anymore because
exactly.
That's probably not the most sensitive gesture, but you get what I'm saying.
If we win one after everything we've been through as a franchise, oh my God, it's going to be so.
It's happening. I've said it. 19-0. You've heard it here. I've said it multiple times. I bet Jackson $60 that we're gonna go 16-0.
You're one way
$5.
in.
$5 at 12 to 1 odds actually, but it's gonna happen. I'm convinced.
It was. Pretty sure it was $10, but
it was 5. It was 5.
No,
100%.
Sure.
Yeah,
5.
It was 5. It was 5 at 12 to 1 odds. That was the bet. Because you said I just made an easy $5, and I was like, I guess you did. Until comes up Chargers at home week 16, and also if the starters get benched that game, I still win.
Yeah, if Mahomes gets benched that game,
which hopefully he doesn't. Because that would be kind of frustrating if we went 15-1 and lost on the last week with Matt Moore playing. I don't even care. I'll risk his injury to make history like that.
Yeah, facts.
Because, if anyone's going to be the 19-0 team, why can't it be us?
Did the Patriots play Tom Brady?
Yeah. They played in week 17. They beat. Funny enough, week 17 that year they went 16-0. And then they lost to him in the Super Bowl.
They beat the Giants in week 17?
That was before you played a divisional opponent every time at the end of the season before the NFL admitted. So you could play anybody. They were in New York. They won 38-3. Randy Moss set the touchdown record, and they finished 16-0. In February, they lost.
Oh God. I mean, I don't feel any bad for the Patriots, but if that happened to the Chiefs,
Yeah, that would be terrible. If a David Tyree play happened, I would have to really.
I mean, is
Better
D
than
Ford really
awful.
worse than David Tyree? Let's be honest.
No, I mean David Tyree. That
But it wasn't even like it was like, oh, he caught it. Like, wow. The D Ford was
no,
like,
the fact that they couldn't sack Eli Manning was
I know, but
like
D Ford gave us like 20 seconds of like, we've actually done it. Like, this is it. It happened. David Tyree was
But
like, well, crap.
Nope.
Oh my God. I hate his name. I hate it. I hate
Yep,
the
it's
letter
a terrible
D
name.
so much. And I mean, honestly, I can't even buy a Ford at this point. I drive a Ford and I'm ashamed. We should boycott that brand. I think
We
all
should.
Chiefs fans
We
should.
should. He should
We
have to
should
change his
shut
last
down
name.
the Ford plant. All that.
Ford should make him change.
I don't care how
I
many
think
jobs it makes. I just hate. I
Yeah.
hate D Ford. He's the worst.
Oh, he is the worst.
We can probably end it on that note because I could
Yeah.
go all day about how much I hate that man.
I think you have been because you started ranting about D Ford with 35 minutes in, and we're 51 minutes in.
Yeah, that's not even anywhere near the longest one. I've gone
No.
on for like 3 hours before, and it was
Josh, we talked to
basically
your
I sound
uncle
like
about D Ford for about.
Yeah, all right. We'll see you on Saturday.